Okay, so December 9th, for the third time, Kelly and George here. Let's get going. That's us. Keep going.
You got it. It's clicking slowly.
I know, I'm on a delay. All right, so local weekly market update. It's been 3 weeks since we've actually done an update, so some interesting stats here. Take a look at the week before Thanksgiving. It was like everybody crammed every new listing, every going under contract, and every sale into the same week. So those numbers are certainly somewhat of an anomaly for the month. But November was a really strong month out there, and we're seeing the same trends, less listings every week versus ones that go under contract. So it has been a really great market for sellers out there. But we're going to talk about why it's been great for the buyers too in a little bit. Anything to add?
No, it was a big surprise to see that 920 number for Thanksgiving. Like you said, that's a crazy amount of sales right before a holiday.
I mean, normally we slow down. Normally people just kind of decide that the holiday season is way too busy and they have other things going on. But this year it has been very busy buying season. And we predicted that too. So take a look at the overall stats for November compared to last year. Maybe. There we go.
I couldn't get it to click. I was clicking on other stuff.
So this is really, really just a perfect example of why this, holiday season has been a lot busier and why we have been talking to sellers and buyers about, I guess we're towards the end of December here now, but, we always get the question, is now a good time to put my house on the market? And holy cow, it sure is. All of those numbers, the absorption rate to the average days on market, 20 days. I mean, that's just crazy. 20 days versus 77 if you tried to sell your home last November. I mean, that's almost 75% difference. And look at that, George, you can probably speak to the average list price versus average sale price. That's almost, that's 99.89%, I bet, of list to sale price.
Yeah, that's a crazy amount. I mean, and it's true because we've definitely been in a position where the last few months we have, if not been at list price, been over list price on majority of our pricing, majority of our offers out there, just because there's so much competition, and that's the only way for you to stand out is to pay a little bit more and try and hope that the appraisal also comes in and you don't have any issues. Yeah. Because a lot of times you're in that position where sellers they do have choices and they can pick and choose whoever they want to work with, whether it be better terms, better agents involved, just easier closing dates, whatever it might be, just something that benefits the seller.
It's extremely important to work with an agent these days who has amazing communication skills, especially with the other agent on the other side of the table. Having those relationships and being able to talk about what are the most important things to the seller in the transaction, or some of those, we've talked about it before, but how can you be the winning offer versus maybe several others out there with 10, 15 showings waiting to happen. So it's really important, please ask us any questions at any time. We always encourage that, and know that when we're submitting offers for our customers that we are trying to establish great relationship with the agent on the other side to help make everything go smoothly. But with that said, if you take a look at what's happening out there nationally, we're really seeing the same thing happen. We've talked about inventory levels before in the whole country, in the US. But look at how much, all year since April, we've been between 19 and 20% down in supply. And that includes new construction. So it's really everyone's been dubbing it a seller's market because, there aren't a lot of homes out there. So like we just said, we have a lot of multiple offers, and it's been, increasing prices because of low supply. But we're going to talk about why it's been great for buyers as well, and why it's going to continue to stay great for buyers here for a little bit anyways. But now is the time to sell for a variety of reasons. Especially a lot of people have taken their property, maybe they held off on putting their property on the market over the holidays. That statistically every year is true, but even more so now when we were already in a low inventory level, and now we have even less because of the holidays. But tons of buyers are still out there. There are people sitting on the sidelines that if the right house came on the market, they would jump on it right away. Regardless of the fact that maybe Christmas is right around the corner, or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or whatever it is you celebrate. So mortgage rates are low. The buyers are still active now. People who are looking right now are also very serious. The window shoppers have gone away. And you have a lot of people, they might be considered passive because they're not out driving around, but they are watching like a hawk online to see what they want hit the market.
And that's what it comes down to is that people have zeroed in on specific areas, specific homes, neighborhoods, pricing, whatever it might be. Mm-hmm. They're honed in on it. So then that's created a little bit more urgency. So when a property does pop up, they're all over that in a heartbeat. And the other side of it is because the rates are so low, then the affordability is so much higher. So it makes so much more sense for people to just sit back, wait for their perfect, close to perfect home to hit the market. And they're in it within the same day, typically, and very likely making an offer that evening, the very next morning. So things are moving quickly, which is great. If it's the right home, if it's in the right condition, people are going to be able to make a good, strong offer on it and be able to win it. Yes, there's occasions where people don't because people overpay for it, but a lot of times there are still opportunities to get the right home, and there's always another home that pops up. I've never been doing this in the buyer side of the role for 9 years, and there's always the case is that there's always another home. You may just have to wait a little bit longer to get it.
Be ready. Just be ready for the next one to pop up.
Yes.
A couple other great reasons, why you should get that property ready to sell now. We have a lot of tools at our disposal these days, especially as shoppers have gotten used to using more virtual options to really narrow down the properties that they truly want to go out and see, especially when time might be limited. So you can control the showing process a lot easier these days. Homes right now, if you were to put it on the market, holiday decor is homey and feels welcoming and is just a joyful feeling when you walk in, and people buy based on emotion. So, a really, nicely decorated holiday, decor, you're going to attract some buyers as well. Minimal competition. We talked about that. There just are not enough houses out there. People who have been searching, George just touched on this a lot. People have been searching throughout the fall and they've been running into those bidding wars. They're still there. They are just waiting for your home to hit the market. And then once January hits, typically by the beginning of February, that's where we really see that, rush of homes that people are trying to get ready for the spring market. So here, what's really going to impact that as well is our new construction market is so saturated with communities, but there's no spec homes available. But, we have so many communities out there that as timber supply and as, all the other stuff comes and the logistics of everything starts opening back up and our supply chain starts getting better, there will be more new construction available. So if you are one of those people who've been thinking about putting your property on the market, sooner better than later. Mm-hmm. All right. What about the buyers? George, talk to us about housing affordability.
Well, that's the biggest thing. If you're looking at the numbers wise, with interest rates where they are right now in the low twos to the low threes, depending on where you are, what kind of a purchase it is, your affordability is so much stronger than what it was a couple years, just a year ago in comparison. And if you look back further the last few years when the interest rates were in the 5s and 6s, they make such a big difference in what you can afford every year as this has changed. So that's really what's making the big difference for a lot of people. And I've heard it time and time again in talking with buyers that just recently closed, that they did upgrade from the $300,000 to a $400,000 house, and it didn't really change their payment significantly just because of what difference they were able to make on their home, put a little bit more money down, and the fact that the interest rate is probably 1% to 2%, maybe less than what they were paying on their last house. So
it's crazy. I mean, you really can't afford more and keep your payments the same, if not lower. So, price is always, price and rate pretty much are the two things that determine how much you can afford. And yes, we have seen prices go up, but because those rates have been so low, you can still afford those increased property values. So if you take a look at the next slide, you'll see exactly what George was talking about. Last year, a home that cost $300,000 at a 3.75 interest rate, and we've gone over this before, but this is just really to emphasize that even though that price has gone up, the interest rates have gone down, you're still saving money every month on your payment. And, we want to emphasize this to everybody, because even though prices have gone up and you hear seller's market, buying now still makes sense. Buying now is still extremely attractive, even if you might pay a little bit more. Hey, Antonia. Family-friendly environment that we have at Welch Team. Even our youngest members like to participate.
Always the case.
Anything about your payments that you want to add, George?
Well, just going into the payments portion of it, that's like I said, the biggest difference right there in what you spend per month in your house. Most people understand that as you go into a larger home, typically you're going to pay a little bit more. But now with everything changing, it makes such a big difference to say, okay, you know what, we can go get that higher home or the nicer home. Doesn't necessarily have to be the bigger home, just into a nicer home, and say we'll spend just a little bit more than what we were spending. Because 3.75 was probably pretty close to what it was actually middle of the start of this year, more so than it was last year.
Yep. And 2.72 is pretty, I think that's pretty middle of the road number right now. Yesterday we had a pre-approval letter come through for 2.265 on an FHA loan with 3% down. It's free money.
It really is. Yeah, that is a crazy rate right there.
So if you're planning on being somewhere for a little while, now is definitely an opportune time to sell. If you are somebody who's looking to get into a property and flip it, you might be struggling to find some deals out there because they are very, very, very slim pickings. But if this is somewhere where you're trying to make into your home for, the next 3 to 5 years, this is a great, great time. And other than that, we are, wait, what happened to my other slide?
Oh, I was going to say, I thought,
there it is. I was going to say, other than that, we just want to wish everybody, tomorrow begins the Hanukkah week, our 8 days of Hanukkah. So for those of you out there that are celebrating Hanukkah, we wish you a happy Hanukkah, and we will see you again, I guess just before Christmas for our last Ask the Agent of the Year.
Ooh, already last one of the year. Awesome.
All right, guys. Have a great one. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.